Hello, awesome artists. Today, I'm going to show you how to draw a pumpkin. Now, we're not going to draw this pumpkin in a normal way because we're good artists and good thinkers. We're going to draw this from a different viewpoint. What is a viewpoint? A viewpoint is the way that you look at something. Now, if I were to ask you to draw a pumpkin, you maybe would just draw your pumpkin right in the middle of your page from the front view, like if it were sitting in front of you. But today, because we're such good thinkers and we're good artists, we're going to draw a pumpkin from the top view. So we're going to imagine that we're looking at our pumpkin, and if we're looking at the top view, we see the top of the stem, maybe we see these ridges along the sides. So our pumpkin is going to look a little bit bumpy. So that is going to be a top view, because sometimes when you're drawing something, it's just a little bit more fun and more interesting to draw it from a different viewpoint. Now, also today, we're going to be using curved lines when we draw, and that's going to give our pumpkin more of a rounded shape. Whenever you use very flat lines, it seems to flatten out an object, and which is good for squares and things like that, very rigid objects. But if you want things to look more soft, more like a sphere, have more volume, you use rounded lines. So we're going to use different lines today and a different viewpoint when we draw our pumpkin. Now, this is the first part of a 2-week lesson. So we're going to draw our pumpkin today. I'm going to lead you through that step by step. And then next week, we're going to add our color. Now, in preparation for adding our color, you have some different options. One option, of course, you can use crayons. They shade very well. You can get some darker and some lighter values. Also, you could even try using paint. So if you were interested in painting, you have a little bit of time to run out maybe and find a paint set. The dollar store has them. They're super easy to find if you choose to paint yours. Oil pastels are a fun option. You could use colored chalk. So be thinking about what you want to use to add your color for our next lesson. I did want to include a few pumpkin facts. When I was looking at pumpkins, learned that a pumpkin is a fruit. I guess I thought that maybe it was a vegetable since it grew in the garden. So I'm always learning new things too, but a pumpkin's actually a fruit. Also, the very first pumpkin was found in Mexico, 7,000 BC. That is a very long time ago. So I thought that was another interesting pumpkin fact. You can do lots of things with pumpkin pie. You can eat the pumpkin seeds. So pumpkins are a very good fall thing. People use them to decorate too. So pumpkins are the theme for the next 2 weeks. So stay tuned, because I'm going to show you how to draw this pumpkin. We're going to begin the first part of our drawing with the stem. Now we need to find where we're going to put the stem, and we're going to use 3 finger spaces. We're going to measure 3 finger spaces from the top. So placing your finger at the top of your paper, you're going to make a small dot beneath your 3 fingers. That's going to mark the spot for the top of your stem. Now we need to think about how we're going to finish our project, how we're going to add the color. So if you plan on painting, remember that it will work better if you use a crayon or a permanent marker. That way your paint won't make the ink bleed. So I'm going to begin at the dot, and I'm going to draw an oval like that. Then I'm going to draw a line that goes down and a line that goes down, maybe about 2 finger spaces wide. Next, I'm going to go out and out. Now, if you'd like to, you could make your pumpkin stem curve a little bit. I just did mine this time really simple, and I used my straight lines. Now, I'm going to draw a zigzagged line. It does not have to be perfect. It can be a little curved. This is going to be the bottom of your stem. Now, if you'd like to add lines for details, feel free to add lines for texture on your pumpkin. Now, since this is a top view pumpkin, we're not going to draw a circle here. It's like we're looking down on our pumpkin. So we're going to begin where these two lines meet, and we're going to curve the line out to the edge, because remember, curved lines make things look more rounded. Then I'm going to skip to the other side, and I'm going to draw a line straight out to the side of my paper there. Make sure you go all the way to the edge. Now, this by itself would make a really cool pumpkin if you were just doing a front view. Maybe it's a cropped view, you're only seeing part of the pumpkin. But today, since we're looking down on our pumpkin, we're going to need to add a few more lines. So this time, I'm going to start at the bottom with a curved line, just a little bit of a curve, because if you draw a straight line down, it's going to make it look really flat. And I'm going to keep going down to the bottom of my paper, dividing it into sections. Make sure you touch the edge of your paper each time. It really doesn't matter where you start drawing your lines. Just divide them as evenly as possible. Now, we're going to see the other side of the pumpkin. So we're going to keep adding curved lines until we touch go all around the pumpkin, and we touch the side of the paper on all of the sides. If you like, you could add some curly vines on your stem. Now, this is all that we're going to do for today. Next week, we're going to talk about color schemes. We're going to talk about warm colors and how you can add your color in a way that you might enjoy adding. So this is all for today. Please don't lose your paper, because you will need it again next week, and I will see you next week for part 2 of your top view pumpkin drawing.